Hey everybody, Ryan here with Ray's latest, and today we're going to talk about some stadium updates involving the land transfer from the state to the Hillsborough campus to the Rays area that we were looking at, and looking forward into building this brand new stadium, as well as just some updates with Jake Fraley and the squad yesterday. Massive, massive win yesterday. Granted, it was against a split twin squad, so it was a little the rosters obviously weren't ideally what you would expect to see, especially with those split squads where they send half the team on the road or half the team somewhere on the road, half the team somewhere else on the road, or play a game at home and one on the road, things of that nature. Teams do that from time to time just to get as many at bats and stuff like that in as you can. But Jake Fraley impressed yesterday as well. He had two diving catches in the outfield, a bases clearing double, got hit with a pitch, had a belt malfunction where he laid out in the outfield and his belt snapped after he got stuck in the ground. So that's interesting, kind of funny to see something like that. But he did have a three-run double yesterday. He made multiple diving catches in the outfield, saving hits. And Cash says, you want to see that early on. If Jake Fraley is diving around on game 3 or 4 of spring training, that sends a message to everybody that plays on the dirt and on the grass. Cash said, what a day he had, knocked in 3 runs with a big double, took away 2 hits, got good jumps. Jake Fraley is a very complete baseball player that we're going to work hard, make sure that we can keep on the field. He just dealt with a lot of injuries last year for whatever reason, but man, he looks the part right now and happy where he's at. So this is something that's great to see. Obviously, when you have the Simpson lingering hamstring problem, and then you have the crowded outfield room as it is right now, it's good to see a couple of the guys kind of stand out a little more. Like you saw DeLuca the other day hit a two run double to walk it off after having a bad elk food poisoning problem. So he was out that's past Sunday, came in later games on Monday and delivered a walk-off hit, which is good to see kind of him step up in that role, and then to see Fraley step up in this role as well with plus outfield play and plus at bats. It's great to see. And I think that with Simpson lingering with the hamstring problem and kind of Mullins is going to play center field for the most part to start the year at least. It'd be interesting to see if he kind of continues the struggles that he has over the past couple of years, if they do anything about that. Obviously, you gave him one of the bigger contracts on the team, so the leeway and the leash is going to be a little bit longer for a guy like that. But I think that seeing Fraley and DeLuca and Melton and people like that continuously kind of showing up more and more over the first couple games of spring training. Now, obviously, it is the first couple games of spring training, but just those are the guys that are getting recognizable PR time. Those are the guys that are getting the interviews because they're the ones that are playing the best. And I think that this is just a good sign to have as many options as possible. And so I think that looking kind of forward to the rest of the spring, I think that it's going to be pretty good for us just to be able to have as many options as we're currently looking at right now that are playing at a high level. But the next thing, Joe Boyle, Tuesday made his first spring training appearance. He went 1 hit over 2 innings, striking out two, threw 21 of 31 for strikes, up to 98.5 with the fastball. He says, I felt good. A good first one, definitely some stuff to work on just in terms of being crisp, but it's early, so it's to be expected. Cash said he came in, filled up the strike zone, looked really good. His times to the plate were outstanding. They're adding more of a sweeper than a slider to his repertoire. I know that's going to be a work in progress, but Kyle Schneider seemed pleased with it. So definitely encouraged by Joe. Good to see him get out there. This is where I think the rotation starts to get a little interesting. I mean, obviously you sign Martinez, you sign Matz, and you're giving them a decent chunk of change to kind of be your 4 and your 5 starter. But then you have a guy like Joe Boyle that kind of steps in and is kind of on that fringe 5 to 6 role, but do you not put Martinez and Boyle, or not Boyle rather, and Matz in the rotation at that point? If you see a guy like Boyle clearly outperforming and outstuff wising those two guys, and I think that's where it's going to get interesting because I've seen comments from you guys over the past months, I feel like that Joe Boyle is the guy that you wanted to see kind of in the back end of that rotation. And I even said it a while back before they signed Martinez and Matz. He's a great option. And I understand that you want the veteran guys at the back end of your rotation, but everything that I've seen from him just previously and now, especially in his first outing, has been great. And I think he looks the part, and I definitely think he can do it. I don't I think that the only thing that's going to be able to set him back is just the time in the big leagues and the lack of time at a high level compared to Max and Martinez. And I think that is where the kind of the split is between the three of those guys. And I think that's where Mats and Martinez kind of get that little extra leeway for a couple of bad starts forbid in the season. And I think just having Martinez and Mats as two guys that have been in the big leagues for a while compared to Boyle, who's obviously really good, but he's more raw, fresh. And so I think that this is going to kind of allow Boyle to even just make spot starts here and there and kind of just get him slowly acclimated to the big leagues, kind of like what they did with Taj Bradley for a while, where you kind of just used all of his options to go. He came, he would throw 5 innings, he would look great, and then they would send him back down before he even stepped off the mound. And fans were like, "Whoa, what the heck? Why are you doing that? He just looked amazing." He was not going to be playing again for another 6 days, anyways. There's no point to keep him on the roster when you're already making spot starts. You obviously need as many people on the roster as you can. So I think that is one of those things that we will might be able to see with Boyle. I haven't seen how many options he has left. I'm assuming he probably has all of them because I don't think he played in the big leagues last year. And so it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to be a relief guy in the bigs or if he's going to start off as a AAA starter. I think he's going to be more of a AAA starter, but obviously we'll see kind of what they decide to do with him there because he's going to get stretched out over the spring. He's going to go to 3 to 4 or 5 inning starts in spring training. So we'll kind of see where he kind of slides into that. And if he's performing at this high of a level, there's no need for him to be in AAA. I don't care if he's throwing 2 innings out of the bullpen. I don't care. As long as he's getting that production is being used at a big league level and not in Durham. Obviously, Durham matters, sure, but at the end of the day, it doesn't. It's a developmental position to get to the big leagues, and I think that just because having Martinez and Matz as your 4 and 5, and having Boyle have the ability to be able to pitch at the big league level, but just too crowded, put him in the pen. I don't care. And have him pitch 2 innings. Hell, he could be a closer for all I care. From what I've seen, 99 miles an hour fastball, the sweeper. I think that just being able to have him on the big league roster and contribute meaningful innings to the major league club is really all you need. And I don't think wasting any of that talent and any of his arm time down in AAA is needed for me. But briefly, just want to talk about land transfer. As I was saying earlier this week, the state is giving 22 acres of land to the Rays to be able to help use with the stadium. DeSantis came out and said he's like, yeah, it's mainly just parking lots. Somebody asked him how much do they think that land's worth. He said, honestly, not that much because nobody's going to be building subdivisions right there anyways. It would just be built for commercial use, which is what they gave it to the Rays to use anyways for that commercial area of the stadium development and that college development. This is going to be used for the commercial area. So we'll see kind of how that goes. And they said if they don't use it within 5 years, they have the right to be able to take it back and stuff like that. So we'll kind of see how the development goes and see how this plot of land kind of fits into the current renderings and things like that that we've seen. But you guys let me know what you guys think about how Jake Fraley looked, as well as what you think about the other guys in spring training, as well as Joe Boyle. I have a lot of questions about him that need to be answered. Answer them down below what you believe. You guys have a great one.